Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Prediction Show live from Eagle Pass Sports Central, live on our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, and also on KINL 92.7, alongside my broadcasting partner, Morris Lipson Jr. My name is Ruben Valadez. We are coming to you live today from Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass, just like the sign says in front of me. I got it right. We want to ask Alan Ortiz to come into the broadcast here up front. Thank you, Alan, for your hospitality as always and for sponsoring these broadcasts. Let the folks at home know what they can expect when they come here to Brown Chevrolet.
Well, guys, everybody that comes into to Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass, everybody's always coming in here kind of feeling intimidated to buy a car, but you're going to meet the friendliest people you ever dealt with, number one. Number two is we're going to make your buying so simple and so easy. And the best part about it, when you leave here, you're going to leave happy with the purchase you made. And that's why they send us their friends, their relatives, and anybody they know that's looking for a car. They say, hey, if you want to be treated right, you want to buy a car, go to Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass. They're going to take care of you. And most importantly, I'll say this, you can buy a car anywhere, but the after sale, the service is the most important. And we give you red carpet treatment and service because we want you to buy another car later on. And that's at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of
Eagle Pass.
There you go. Thank you.
We appreciate you, and as always, appreciate the hospitality and your sponsorship of these broadcasts. And we want to thank our other sponsors, too, on behalf of Universal Media Connections, Balder Record Service, Nevada's Law Firm, Allstate Onésimo Elizondo, Sarita's Tortilla Factory, T&T Rentals, IBC Bank, Stat Emergency, R&R Safety Wear LLC, Texas Diamond Garage, Capital Insurance Services, Clarissa Rivera, Tienda de los Venados, Tabanay Insurance, Chapa Law Group, Choches Barbecue, Benavides Insurance, Lorena Melo State Farm, Brown Chevrolet, Vargas Hardware, Ruiz & Associates, Maverick AC Supplies, Rudy's Optical, Yopos, and United Medical Centers. And on behalf of Eagle Pass Sports Central, again, we want to thank the folks here at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass, as well as Ancita Ford and State Representative Eddie Morales. We're going to check in with my partner, Morris Lipson, here in just a bit. Before we do that, I have the luck today of turning to my left and talking to a winning football coach. Coach, we were there on Friday for that 13-0 victory against the Cigarroa Toros. I think the score doesn't really show the kind of performance your team put in, which was from beginning to end steady, consistent, with lots of energy, especially in that second half. They came out with lots of energy, aggressive, and you all came out with the win.
I mean, credit our kids and our coaches. I mean, we never lost our conviction. Been through quite a bit, but it certainly feels good to win. And I was texting with Coach Gonzalez Saturday morning, and he said, "Hey, I bet the food tastes better this morning." And it certainly did, and it will continue throughout the week leading up to kickoff tomorrow night. But just proud of our kids and looking to build off the win, and hopefully we can multiply that in the weeks to come.
Tadeo Rivera had quite a performance last week on the ground and also as a pass catcher.
Yeah, he did. He rushed for 141 yards. I think he caught 4 passes for 30-plus yards. Just a catalyst for our offense on Friday night, and really broke the game wide open there in the second half. Not only on offense, but on special teams. Set us up with some good field position and put us in some great opportunities to put some points on the board.
You mentioned looking ahead now to this week, you've got Southwest coming up.
Southwest Legacy, yes.
So the Titans coming up. Talk to us about your preparation for that team.
Well, I mean, they bring a wealth of talent to the table. They got some experience at quarterback, a 3-year starter. So, we got to make sure that, the success that we had last week, we got to make sure that we bring it again, and we don't forget how to prepare, and, we don't get caught up in the moment because we got another one, and we certainly want to get another one because one's not enough. We want to continue to build on that foundation and continue to be victorious.
What is your offense looking at in terms of what Legacy runs?
Oh, Legacy is a 4-down front, very aggressive, blitz-heavy defense. So we got to put in some wrinkles moving forward. We getting some people back on both sides of the ball off the injury bug, which has certainly helped. And we'll be full force tomorrow night. So we're looking forward to it.
And defensively, I know your coordinators couldn't be here today, but what is defensive coordinator René Ramirez looking at as far as battling that Legacy offense?
A heavy run game with a huge offensive line, and then they'll mix it up, with some run action, some RPO stuff. and get it into that short game, quick game type of mode. We got to keep everything in front, got to tackle well, can't give up the big plays, and make sure that we force some turnovers and win the turnover battle and the field position as well.
It's a good time to check in. I know sometimes we check in with you all at the beginning of the season, kind of at the beginning of district. Also, this is now in the dog days of your district season where you can kind of see the finish line ahead of you, but you've also got to keep your kids motivated to see it through. How do you do that as a head coach?
Well, winning cures a lot. I'll tell you that. You win, and certainly your practices are a bit livelier, and a lot of things that you didn't see starting to appear. So it's been an energetic week. The kids are excited, but we're in the grind. We're in the grind of our season, and we got to make sure that you stay mentally focused. You're really not going to reinvent the wheel now. You're going to hang your hat on what you do and how you do it. You got to do it a little bit better on Thursday night or Friday night than everybody else, and you got to play cleaner. You got to be mistake-free and make sure that you don't give up anything cheap in any phase of the game, offense, defense, or special teams.
It was great to see those kids jumping up and down last Friday there at Shirley Field. Some final thoughts from you, Coach, on the game coming up.
Just extremely proud of our kids. Want to wish our freshmen and JV best of luck today. Also, our Memorial Junior High football teams were victorious yesterday versus Uvalde. They're doing a fantastic job, and we're just excited to kick another one off versus Legacy tomorrow night at the SEC.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach. We'll be back with you for the predictions, and I'll turn to this side where Morris is going to talk to the Eagles coaching staff.
Well, we're here with Coach Tom Gonzalez and his coaching staff. And, Coach, not exactly the result you were looking for up in Laredo. Before we move on to this week's game, tell us a little bit about your game this past weekend.
Well, it was tough to take. You know, it's been since 2019 that we lost 2 in a row. And our kids, you know, we have to go out and play hard, and we know that. Everyone knows that. You have to limit mistakes and you know, execute the game plan and all that. But, you know, our kids started off slow again, and this week we had a heart-to-heart with our kids, our team leaders, our captains, and really, to tell you the truth, this morning we had the best practice we've had all year. And our kids, you know, they're responding well. They're excited about the opportunity for the game this week, and it's going to be a different football team.
Well, Coach, you know, with the team like our Eagle Pass Eagles, your Eagle Pass Eagles, you know, they've been there before, and they've had to come back. You've still got 3 games left. You're going to take it one at a time.
Exactly.
You're going to take LBJ. You got homecoming, LBJ here on Friday, right? Is it a Friday ball game? Friday night. And well, tell us a little bit about LBJ. I know, like you said, you had a heart-to-heart with your players. 0-2 in district, I mean, doesn't necessarily, you know, put you out of the playoffs or anything like that. You pretty much, as I'm sure you told your football team, is you control your own destiny.
Exactly. We control our own destiny. You know, like you said, if we win out, you know, we have a chance. It's not the end of the world. And like we told our kids, you know, don't panic. We're going to be okay. Like you said, we've been there before. LBJ is a very good football team. They're big, strong. They always play us tough. No one in our district is going to be an easy week or easy game. So we know that, and we just need to do a better job executing on the football field. We need to do a better job of the little things that we talk about, you know, tackling and blocking and doing all those little things, and the wins will come.
Well, let's bring in Coach Javier Cardenas, the offensive coordinator. Coach, your offense, like you said, you know, maybe a little too late, you know,
Right.
getting going.
Right.
And of course it has to work in conjunction with the defense.
Right,
But tell us a
right.
little bit about just your thoughts on your game this past week, and then let's move on to LBJ.
You know, losses bring out just about everything that goes wrong, even things that didn't seem wrong. You know, pop up when these things happen. Those heart-to-heart talks are important, but I think the most important thing for our kids to understand is the leadership lessons involved, and you know, and what we preach, and what every coach preaches is resiliency and all that good stuff. But you know, when we told the kids, it's either a Band-Aid solution where, you know, it gets fixed for a day or two, or it's a permanent, mentality and physical solution to where we approach we have a different approach to preparation, also obviously in game day. Offensively, there's really three things that are kind of sputtering us out, which is just slow starts. We can't start in the second and then third quarters. First and fourth have been very ineffective for us. The second thing is just inconsistency in the run game. We haven't had a good solid consistent run game throughout the season. Of course, the third thing that's really kind of affected his last two games has been those deep red zone inconsistencies as well. So obviously one of the things that we've been telling our kids, obviously very proud of the way they're responding and how they're staying loyal to the program and how they're showing up and taking care of business. But it's correct those things that can be corrected, and a lot of that has to do with just effort and mental preparation, and we know that a lot of that has to do with that. So going into this, just don't have a distorted vision of who we are and don't lose our identity. It's not lost. We just have to kind of get back in and get that identity back, and a lot of that had to do with this week and the way we prepared. So moving forward to LBJ is in the same boat that we are. They're 5-2. They have a winning record, but in district we're both 0-2, so we're fighting for a playoff spot here. So it becomes very important when we know LBJ is going to come down, and of course added the benefit that they have the homecoming, so that gives them extra, an extra energy, sense of energy coming into Friday. But they're in a 4-2-5 scheme. Defensively, they've been able to keep that team in close ball games because of the defense. Defense does a real good job. Front line is really solid. Good linebackers, of course, the DB. So, again, just taking the preparation, the lessons we've learned, the resiliency, putting everything together. And I'd like for us to get back on the win on Friday night, go 1-2, and then south, and then we'll go from Del Rio from there. But definitely, we know we control our own destiny here moving forward.
Well, there you have it from the offensive side. We're going to bring in Coach Roger Olivas, whose defense is, of course, going to have an integral part against the LBJ offense this next game.
Sure, yes. Again, a lot of what Coach has said here is, we need to minimize our mistakes. In the first quarter, we blew 2 coverages against United, and Coach Mireles at LBJ came from the United system and actually the Alexander system. But again, it'll be a lot of their offense is going to be a lot like what United ran. We have to, we changed. The second half against United, they only had 95 yards. We changed some things there defensively, but again, a lot of it was just mental errors in the first half. We had 2 defensive backs run into each other, and things didn't go our way. But we, like they said, we had a great week of practice. We talked to them about their mistakes and being accountable for their mistakes and not pointing fingers and grow up as young men. And
well, Coach, one of the things that I think is important, and I think you teach it, you try to coach it, but when it gets to the game time and you're in the game, your defense, especially your defensive backs and everybody, have got to be able to read what's coming.
yes,
and what schemes there, and make sure you don't drop a coverage or something like that, like you're mentioning, because that there's no defense when you drop a coverage.
no, and the secondary is the last line of defense. They have to be all in the same page, and we played a younger man there, and he made some mental mistakes, and then again he came back the second half and played a lot better. But again, when you have a spread offense with an experienced quarterback like that, they're going to take advantage of mistakes, and they did. And
one thing that helps your defensive backs a lot is pressure on the quarterback, and that brings in your defensive front four, winning the battle there and putting pressure on the quarterback. What can you tell us about the LBJ quarterback? And
he's inexperienced. He's a returning letterman. He was, I think, honorable mention all district last year. Again, very poised. He can run and throw. He has very, very skilled athletes in the backfield. He has a real good running back. I think he scored 3 touchdowns this past week against Alexander. He was a DB who just switched to running back. So that was his first exposure to their offense. And they were in there to the very end with Alexander. So like Coach says, they're a 5-2 ball club that, unfortunately have lost their first 2 district games. And, they're going to be hungry like we're going to be hungry. And, we we're going to capitalize on the momentum we had this week in practice.
We don't, as opposed to the Mavericks district, a district that doesn't have that many teams in it. So when you get toward the end of the season, every game counts.
And they do. And like Coach Gonzalez said earlier, we haven't lost two district games or two games in a row in a very, very long time. So it was uncharted waters for us. But like we said, we had a heart-to-heart with our captains and our a lot of our seniors. And they weren't having fun as a lot of them said, so we changed things up, and we had a very, very productive practice offensively, defensively, special teams this week. I mean, today was amazing. That's the way we practiced all the time before, and then they said what they needed to say, and we said what we needed to say, and the results were the great practice we had today.
Well, there you have it. We're going to come back to Coach Tom Gonzalez, and I'm going to ask him kind of maybe not a difficult question, but I think it comes up. Homecoming is a time when it's a kind of a festive time every year, with supposedly, everybody coming home that's what it was meant to be. But there's a lot of festivities and a lot of things that happen that nonetheless are distractions to a certain extent. How do you work with that and keeping your players, getting ready for what is going to happen on Friday night?
I mean, we're humans also. We're dads and everything. Besides being their coach, we want them to have fun, of course, and enjoy it. Of course, we tell them, winning is fun. But as far as the guys that we have 10 representatives that are football players, and so that's the majority of the reps that are running for homecoming. So one thing we did tell them is our job is the game, and they understand that. They're really good boys, and we tell them, we're going to practice till 5:30. After that, that's your time to go take care of your homecoming festivities and your float and all that stuff. And they understand. They don't miss practice. They don't even question. They don't say, can I leave early? They take care of business, and thank God we have that kind of kid that has that mentality. The parents back us up, and we don't have that distraction getting in the way of our practice.
Well, I mentioned it because the reason I asked you the question is because I'm in San Antonio Saturday watching Taft and Sotomayor on TV, and in halftime performance, the band performing, and here's a football player playing the drums.
Mm-hmm.
and I can't think of anything probably more difficult for a football player or a coaching staff than, instead of that guy being in the dressing room going over what's supposed to be adjusting, doing double duty with the band and the football team.
We had a defensive end. One of our starters was a all-district band also, and he was all-district football, but he split that time with him, and he'd say, Coach, I need to go to practice. All right, well, let's do this and take care of this business, and then you can go, and he would.
Well, your final thoughts before the homecoming game.
Well, I'd just like to invite the public to go watch our homecoming game. We're back at home. It's been, a while since we played here. It's been, 3 or 4 weeks since we played San Marcos. But, our kids are excited. We're excited about the opportunity. And I'd like to wish the Mavericks good luck, and also our JV and our freshmen tonight. Tomorrow. Huh? The parade is tonight. I'm sorry. The homecoming parade is tonight at 6 o'clock. And, congratulations to our junior high for beating Del Rio yesterday also.
Well, there you have it from the Eagle Pass Eagles coaching staff. We're going to move on to our predictions. And gosh, I'll tell you what, I don't know. We're going to have to check on Coach Graff because I know he's listening. But
in his lair, wherever he is.
He's having an awful lot of time to check all this.
He's got 3 computers going.
He does. He's got a whole setup there.
Yeah, Coach Graff went 8-2.
DraftKings.
Coach Ruben went 6-4. Both Coach Gonzalez and Coach Villaseñor went 5-5, and I don't even want to tell you what I did. I went 4-6, but of course I picked A&M. But anyway, there you have it. My Coach Gonzalez and Ruben did pick Missouri over Kentucky. Of course, Ruben wouldn't pick anybody else.
Would not. Good pick, Coach.
But anyway, that's where we stand. And overall, before we do this week's picks, Coach Graff is comfortably in the lead at 57-23. In second place is both Coach Gonzalez and Coach Villaseñor. They're keeping even at 51-29. Ruben, you're coming in at 49-31, and I'm coming in at 46-34. So I don't think I got enough time left in this season for me to make up a lot. But we surely can probably try to knock off Coach Graff here. Let's get into our predictions. I do have to apologize to Coach Gonzalez. He sent me the game, and I had already made this out, so I left your game out. I know you researched it because it was one of these Corpus Christi games. But here we go. FAR San Juan Alamo Memorial against Roma. We'll let Coach Gonzalez go first.
Roma.
And Ruben.
PSJ.
Okay. And Eric.
I'm gonna go Roma.
I'm going to take Roma, and Coach Graff is writing down what we're saying and is going to copy us. But Pearsall and Divine, I think, last week, anybody that followed Pearsall, Coach Graff, believe it or not.
He knew something.
Yeah,
he knew something because he picked against Pearsall. He's the only one who got that right.
Pearsall, that's unheard of, and got it right. He was the only one that got it right. Coach Gonzalez.
I fell in that trap, Grass trap again. I went for Pearsall last time and lost.
Pearsall, Divine.
So I'm going to go Divine.
Ruben.
Divine.
Eric.
Divine,
and I'll take Divine, and we'll see if Coach Graff picks Pearsall. Sabinal and Dehanes. Interesting game here, Coach Gonzalez.
Dehanes
and Ruben.
A Highway 90 battle. We're going to go with Sabinal on that one.
Sabinal. Eric.
Sabinal,
and I'll take Sabinal there. This one's an interesting game here. Smithson Valley against Bernie Champion. Coach Gonzalez, what do you think?
Go Bernie Champion.
Bernie Champion and Ruben.
Bernie Champion.
Bernie Champion and Eric.
I'm gonna go Smithson Valley.
I'm gonna go Smithson Valley with Coach Eric. Penn State and Ohio State. I think they're both unbeaten, if I'm not mistaken. I think both of them sitting at 6-0. Coach Gonzalez.
Ohio State.
And Ruben.
Ohio State.
Eric.
I'm gonna go Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it won't do me any good, but I'll go Ohio State. Tennessee and Alabama. Of course, A&M didn't show up to play the second half last weekend. So, Tom.
Alabama.
Ruben.
I'll go with
Bama. Eric.
Bama.
I'll take Alabama. I don't think Tennessee is going to win that one. Duke and Florida State. Tom.
Florida State.
Ruben.
Florida State.
And Eric.
Florida State.
And I'll take Florida State. Utah and USC is another good ball game. Tom.
USC.
Ruben.
Yeah, I think USC comes back big after that loss to Notre Dame. I think they're going to come back strong.
And Eric.
USC.
And I'll take USC. The Cowboys don't play, right? So I just want to make sure I didn't miss it or something. But the Falcons and the Bucks. Tom.
Bucks.
And Ruben.
Yeah, Bucks.
And Eric.
Bucks.
And I'll take the Bucks. Dolphins and Eagles is an interesting game. The Eagles have finally, I think, lost a football game here. I'm talking about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I want to make that clear.
They all did.
Yeah. Tom.
Eagles.
And Ruben.
I'm going to go with the Eagles, too.
And Eric.
I'm gonna go Dolphins.
And I'm gonna go Dolphins also. There you have it. Coach Graff is going to send me his. He'll send them in today. He does send them. He doesn't wait till after the games are over. He does send them in on time. But there you have it. Ruben, take us home.
One more thing, we want to wish our marching bands well. They'll both be competing at area marching band competition on Saturday. The Thundering Maverick Band will be at Judson Stadium. And the Mighty Eagle Band will be up in Cedar Park at Gupton Stadium performing there at 3 o'clock. We wish both bands, those kids work very hard all year long. They're there in July, just like some of our athletes are. So we wish both bands, the Thundering Maverick Band and the Mighty Eagle Band, the best of luck on Saturday. And we want to thank Our sponsors, Balde Record Service, Nevada's Law Firm, Allstate, Onésimo Elizondo, Saritas Tortilla Factory, TNT Rentals, IBC Bank, Stat Emergency, R&R Safety Wear LLC, Texas Diamond Garage, Capital Insurance Services, Clarissa Rivera Flores, Tienda de los Venados, Tabany Insurance, Chapa Law Group, Choches Barbecue, Benavides Insurance, Lorena Melo State Farm, Brown Chevrolet, Vargas Hardware, Ruiz and Associates, Maverick AC Supply, Rudy's Optical, Yopos, and United Medical Centers. And as always, we want to thank our friend Alan Ortiz here at Brown Chevrolet Buick GMC of Eagle Pass. Thank you so much for joining us this week in the prediction show. Eagle Pass Sports Center will be at the SAC Kierkozo Foster Veterans Memorial Stadium on Friday for that homecoming game between the Eagles and LBJ. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.